Let's have a good one, guys.
Hey everyone, who'd like the inside scoop on the L-39, the aircraft we use with the Patriots Jet Team? I'm going to take you to a dusty little town in Northern California named Byron. Welcome to the Patriots Jet Team hangar. We of course have the 7 black jets here that we used to fly in the show, and one of the prized possessions of the whole operation, the MiG-17. Why don't we go have a look at my jet? First thing right off the bat, you can see this is a tandem aircraft, and so there's 2 seats in the jet, one front, one back. Of course, in the show, we fly in the front seat, and almost always we're flying alone in the jet. But when we go from site to site, we actually take the ground crew and put them in the back seat with us. It's a perk for them, and it ensures they're maintaining them really well, because if they're flying them, they're probably fixing them well too. The next thing that's interesting about this jet is that it's a turbofan jet engine. Old technology jets, they were turbojet engines, far less efficient than the more modern jet engines that we see here. One of the things I personally like about it is that the intakes are up nice and high here, so you're not sucking up dirt and bits from the ground. And particularly at an air show, you're always seeing wrappers rolling across the ground in the wind. Well, that's less of a hazard for us. It's kind of nice actually to have that. Next thing I want to show you is the landing gear. This is a very unique and a very effective form of landing gear. It's called a chicken leg gear. The shock absorption is canted back, much like a chicken's leg. Very helpful when it's an unprepared field, or in the case of a hard landing, it absorbs the energy much better than just a straight landing gear. Next thing I'm showing you here is the tip tanks on these. A lot of kids ask us, are those bombs? No, they're not. These are actually for fuel. When we're flying long range, we actually fill these up with gas. We have to remove the gas out of these before we fly the show. You can't do aerobatics with fuel in the tip tanks, so that's important for us to keep an eye on. This is the business end of the jet. This is where all the thrust comes out. 600 degrees Celsius, 3,800 pounds of thrust that propels us through the air. One of the things you'll notice that's not on many L-39s is this probe and this crossbar. This is for our smoke system, and we need that, putting smoke into the routine. In the cockpit, we have a button we can press that energizes the smoke system. The pressure from the smoke tank allows the smoke oil to come up into this cross beam, and you'll see these little holes here. The smoke comes out of the holes into the 600-degree exhaust, vaporizes it immediately and turns into smoke. All right, next thing I want to show you is the thing that people ask about most often, the Pitot Tube. And the Pitot Tube's a really important thing because we need this to measure how fast we're going and how high we're flying. In the front, there's a little hole here. It measures the air pressure and tells us how fast we're going. The other little holes on the top and bottom tell us the altitude. Unlike a vehicle that uses the wheel speed to sense how fast it's going, the airplane uses air pressure to sense how fast it's going. So jets, unlike cars, don't have a lot of luggage space. This is the amount of room we have when we go from site to site. That's it. Ground crew puts stuff on one side, pilots put their stuff on the other side, but that's it. Just a couple small bags. That's all the room we have. So come on up in the cockpit and we'll have a look. This is my office when we're flying the air show. So as you can see, lots of buttons and dials, but we really focus on just a few really important ones. Here's our altimeter. And then over here we have all the instruments. Constantly monitoring the instruments, even though we're busy flying in formation. Whenever we get a moment, we want to look down at those, make sure we have enough fuel, want to make sure the engine's running right, and that's really important. Always having a cross-check inside the cockpit to make sure things are going right. What you won't notice in here is any instrumentation that tells us how close we are to another airplane. A lot of people ask us, oh, you must have an instrument in there that helps you fly formation. Not at all. 99% of formation flying in a routine like ours is done just looking out the window at the other airplanes. We're looking where our references are. It's all done here. There's no computers. There's nothing in here telling us how far we are apart. It's all with your eye. It's hand and eye coordination. So that's it. That's a little tour of the L-39 that we fly in the Patriots Jet Team, and thanks for your time. Well, I hope you've enjoyed getting a little insight into the L-39 on the ground, but keep your eye out. I'll be doing a comparison of this airplane in his formation role with the Patriots Jet Team and the Tudor airplane that I flew with the Royal Canadian Air Force Snowbirds. 2 airplanes doing a very similar thing, but doing it in a very different way. So share and subscribe, and we'll be talking to you real soon. Cheers.